Did you know that the game of rock, paper, scissors, also known as RPS, finds its roots in the Chinese Han Dynasty? Yes, this seemingly simple hand game that many of us played as children and some of us still do as adults originates from a period that dates back to over 2000 years ago. Now, imagine the scene. The Han Dynasty, a time of great innovation and progress in the arts, technology, and culture. In the midst of all this, a game emerges, a game called Shoushiling. Shoushiling, the precursor to our modern rock, paper, scissors, was not just a casual pastime. It held a certain significance in the society of the time, similar to how chess or Go were seen as intellectual pursuits in later periods. Shoushiling was a game of chance, strategy, and psychology. Much like its modern counterpart, it was a game that required you to anticipate your opponent's move and react accordingly. It might seem simple, but there's a certain level of mind play that goes into it. However, the game wasn't exactly as we know it today. The original Chinese version of the game involved gestures that signified a frog, a slug, and a snake rather than the familiar rock, paper, and scissors we use today. The frog triumphed over the slug conquered the snake, and the snake, in turn, dominated the frog. Shoushiling was not just a game, it was a reflection of the society's understanding of the world, the natural order of things, and the cycle of life and death. It was, in a sense, a symbolic representation of the circle of life. Over time, the game evolved and spread, moving across borders and cultures, adapting and changing along the way. It traveled through the Silk Road, reached the shores of Japan, and eventually made its way to the West. But that's a tale for another time. So, the next time you play a round of RPS, remember, you're participating in a tradition that goes back over 2 millennia. You're not just playing a game, you're engaging in a rich historical practice that has stood the test of time. From China, the game of rock, paper, scissors traveled east to Japan, where it took on a life of its own. This journey is a testament to how games and culture traverse boundaries, adapting and evolving along the way. As the game made its way to Japan, it underwent a transformation, morphing into a version now widely known as Janken. Janken is essentially the Japanese sibling of rock, paper, scissors. The fundamental mechanics of the game remained the same. A three-way deadlock where rock crushes scissors, scissors cut paper, and paper covers rock. However, it was the cultural assimilation and the narrative around the game that truly set Janken apart. In Japan, the game was not just a casual pastime. It was deeply rooted in Japanese folklore and tradition. The symbols of rock, paper, and scissors were represented by a god, a village head, and a mother respectively. This narrative added a layer of depth and cultural relevance to the game, elevating it from a simple decision-making tool to a cultural staple. The game was used for various purposes, from settling trivial disputes among children on playgrounds to making important decisions in a social context. Janken was a part of everyday life. It was a game that transcended age and status, played by everyone from school children to businessmen. The popularity of Janken also permeated popular culture. It was referenced in literature, music, and even in the world of anime and manga, further cementing its place in Japanese society. So, while the game of rock, paper, scissors began in China, it was in Japan that it truly began to flourish and evolve. The game was embraced, adapted, and celebrated, becoming an integral part of Japanese culture. It was no longer just a game. It was a symbol of societal norms, a tool for decision-making, and a reflection of the culture's deep-seated values and traditions. Isn't it fascinating to see how a simple game can be adapted and embraced by another culture? The journey of rock, paper, scissors from China to Japan is a perfect example of this cultural exchange and adaptation. It's a testament to how something as simple as a game can have such a profound impact on society. The West, however, would not be introduced to rock, paper, scissors until much later. The game's journey to the Western world is shrouded in mystery, with theories ranging from the intriguing to the downright fascinating. Some believe it was the Japanese immigrants who carried this intriguing hand game across the Pacific Ocean, introducing it to the shores of North America and Europe. Others speculate it could have been the result of increased cultural exchange between the East and West during the late 19th or early 20th century. This was a period marked by significant shifts in global dynamics, with nations exploring and embracing elements of each other's cultures like never before. Regardless of the path it took, there's no denying the impact of this simple yet captivating game. It was embraced with open arms, integrating seamlessly into the fabric of Western society. And so, rock, paper, scissors found its way into Western culture, where it would soon become a popular pastime. In the 20th century, RPS was no longer just a game, it was a phenomenon. With the dust of World War II settling, a wave of cultural exchange washed over the world. And riding that wave was our humble game of rock, paper, scissors. In the wave of newfound peace, rock, paper, scissors found its way into the hearts and hands of people far and wide. It was no longer a simple pastime, confined to the playgrounds of Japan or the ancient courts of China. No, it had become a global sensation, a universal language of sorts, understood and played by people from all walks of life. So what led to this meteoric rise in popularity? Well, the simplicity of rock, paper, scissors played a big part. All you needed were your hands and the knowledge of three simple signs: rock, paper, and scissors. No need for boards, dice, or cards. It was a game that could be played anytime, anywhere by anyone. But it wasn't just the simplicity of the game that led to its global adoption. The game also served a practical purpose. In the absence of a coin to flip or straws to draw, rock, paper, scissors became the go-to method for decision-making. From choosing who would do the dishes to determining the starting player in a game of football, rock, paper, scissors became the world's arbitrator, the decider of fates. And as the 20th century gave way to the 21st, rock, paper, scissors remained as popular as ever. It transcended the physical realm, finding a place in the digital world. Today you can play rock, paper, scissors online, against an AI, or even in a virtual reality setting. The game has evolved, adapted, and thrived in the modern world. From the imperial court of Han Dynasty China to the playgrounds of Japan, across the vast Atlantic to the west, and now into the digital age, rock, paper, scissors has stood the test of time. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of simplicity and the universal love for a good game. And that's how a game from ancient China became a worldwide sensation. Despite its simplicity, there's more to rock, paper, scissors than meets the eye. Over the centuries, various cultures have put their own spin on the game, adding more elements to make it even more intriguing. For instance, in Indonesia, there's a version that includes an elephant, a human, and an ant. The elephant steps on the human squashes the ant, but the ant crawls into the elephant's ear and drives it crazy. But beyond these variations, there's also a psychological strategy at play. Players try to outsmart their opponents by predicting their moves. This involves understanding human behavior and tendencies. For example, men are statistically more likely to start with rock, while women are more likely to start with scissors. So, if you can read your opponent well, you might just have the upper hand. So it turns out, rock, paper, scissors is not just about luck, but also about strategy and mind games. Rock, paper, scissors is not just child's play, it's a serious competition. As the popularity of rock, paper, scissors soared, it was inevitable that it would evolve into a competitive sport. There are now formalized rules and championships that have taken this game from the playground to the tournament hall. The World Rock, Paper, Scissors Association, founded in the early 21st century, hosts international tournaments with participants from all over the globe. These tournaments are as intense as any other sporting event, with competitors strategizing and outwitting their opponents to claim victory. And it's not just limited to physical tournaments. Online platforms have also emerged, allowing enthusiasts to engage in heated rock, paper, scissors battles from the comfort of their homes. This has further expanded the reach and appeal of the game, making it more accessible to individuals worldwide. But the impact of rock, paper, scissors extends beyond competitive play. This humble hand game has permeated popular culture in a way few others have. It has made appearances in television shows and movies, often used as a light-hearted method of decision-making between characters. In literature, rock, paper, scissors is frequently referenced, symbolizing the unpredictability of life and the delicate balance of power. Music, too, has not been immune to the charm of rock, paper, scissors. Songs have been written about the game, and some musicians have even incorporated the hand gestures into their performances, connecting with audiences in a playful and universal way. And let's not forget the countless memes, GIFs, and internet trends that have sprung up around rock, paper, scissors. From viral challenges to creative adaptations, the game continues to inspire and entertain in the digital realm. From a simple hand game to a cultural icon, rock, paper, scissors truly has a history as fascinating as the game itself.